In the earlier modules, we were able to establish that stories are very important because they create a certain sense of continuity, are the foundations of tradition, and more important, they are passed from one generation to another so that we may regard the past as a map to how we deal with the present and a guide to where we'll go in the future. Stories provide a continuity by also becoming the foundation of beliefs. Almost all religions, almost all shades of faith are founded on stories. These are myths, legends, even alleged historical anecdotes which give credibility to the establishment of faith and religion based on the heroes, based on the Messiah, based on the gods which characterize the very foundation of that faith. You create traditions through what is passed from one generation to another in the same manner that religions are shaped by the propagation of doctrines which are embedded in narratives. And it is through these doctrines that you are able to distinguish what is good and what is evil from the dictates of specific religions. Now, myths and legends are the groundworks of culture. As we already explained earlier, what man cannot define, what man cannot absorb, what man feels is really way beyond his comprehension, he tends to simplify in anthropomorphic terms. Anthropomorphism means he defines it in very human terms which are accessible to him. And that is why we have, as we said before, myths and legends which humanize gods, myths and legends which explain natural phenomena by using human examples. For instance, let's take two creation myths. One is from the Genesis of the Bible, Adam and Eve, and the other is our local counterpart of Malakas and Maganda. When you look at these two stories, when you look at these two accounts of how the first man and woman were made, you would say that, well, okay, so according to God, according to the Bible, okay, man was made from dust, and from dust, Adam came about. And when God noticed that Adam was lonely and needed a companion, he took a rib from Adam and created Eve. But the Filipino counterpart is extremely different. The Filipino counterpart said that there was this enormous bamboo which was broken open. It's broken open by a mythological bird, and from this bamboo came Malakas and Maganda. They were two sides of the same bamboo. Now, when you look at this in terms of pure narrative elements, you would not see the great significance and implications which differentiate Adam and Eve from Malakas and Maganda. Here, we could see the Judeo look at the value of women being only equivalent to a rib of Adam as compared to the pre-Spanish perception of the woman, which is equal to man. Whereas Eve was the weaker of the two sexes created in the Bible, in the local folklore, Malakas and Maganda were of equal value and equal strength. Now, what does this imply about the same narrative but interpreted by two cultures? Well, myths and legends attempt to explain the law of nature, but the culture still dictates the worldview. How you see the world is how your culture has conditioned you to see life. You may talk about the same stories, but your culture, but but the deepest ideas rooted in tradition and in culture will still dictate how you perceive and interpret life. Now, we are preconditioned by our culture. Regardless of how hard we try, the roots of our culture define our identities. A lot of Filipinos try to be somebody else who they are not, but most unfortunately, they will fail. It's in their DNA that they are Filipinos, because being Filipino is not merely the color of skin or knowing the language, it is within the molecules that somehow define your tradition, which is genetically preconditioned inside you.